Hello MoveOn members. My name is Sidney Davis and I'm a member of the Evanston Northside 9th District Council from Illinois. I'd like to welcome you to a 6-minute training on facilitation and thanks for joining us. This short video is going to help us learn how to be a great facilitator by applying a few basic principles. Some of you have likely had experience facilitating and that's great. So as we get into this training, please consider the best meetings you've ever participated in and think about what made them so great. The principles that we'll review in this training will equip us to facilitate many small group discussions, meeting with other MoveOn members, and all the other organizing work that you do. First, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about what the role of a facilitator is. There are a lot of different words that people use that are just like facilitators, such as moderator or group leader. But in a nutshell, the facilitator is the person who keeps the group on agenda, moving forward, and make sure that everybody gets heard. Since you're facilitating in a group, it's good to involve everyone in the discussion so that the decisions that are made with as many voices as possible. This helps us to ensure a democratic process. So the goals of the facilitator are very simple. A, keep the group moving forward. B, on the agenda. And C, to make sure that folks have the ability to participate. That may sound pretty simple, but how do you actually make sure that that happens? Well, this is where the basic principles come in.
Hi everyone, my name is Gail Carson. I'm a field organizer based in Indiana and I work with the Midwest. The first principle that we're going to talk about today in this video is to prepare beforehand. It really does take some time to get ready to facilitate. So here are some simple tips to help you prepare beforehand. The first thing that you should do is really read over the agenda and make sure that you really understand the flow, the time you have, and the goals of the discussion that you're leading. If you know what the group is supposed to accomplish, everyone will have a much more meaningful experience. You may also want to check out where the group will be meeting and be sure there are enough chairs and that you have the material that you need. I know it sounds simple, but just taking some time to check out the space and making sure you have things set up in advance really makes a world of difference. So the first principle is to prepare beforehand by reviewing the agenda, knowing your goals, and checking out the space that you have for your group discussion.
My name is Ian Pedro Rogers. I'm a field organizer in the Midwest. And I want to talk about the second principle for great facilitation, and that is establishing ground rules. Now, ground rules are agreed upon behaviors for groups to use. This is really important when people from different backgrounds and organizing cultures work together, because everybody may have a different idea of what it means to organize. So even if you only have a little bit of time, it's always beneficial to start off the group with a short list of ground rules. For example, some ground rules may be respect all points of view, start and end on time, step up and step back, and of course, have fun. Now, you as a facilitator have a mandate.
The third principle is to balance participation with efficiency. Your role as a facilitator is to involve as many people as possible in bringing the group to their goals. The group will enjoy the meeting more if they get to talk and share their ideas, but no one enjoys a meeting that does not end on time. As a facilitator, you need to make sure that you accomplish both goals. Now we're going to demonstrate some of these principles.
Well, I appreciate all your ideas, and this is great that we're brainstorming what tactics should be next, but it should be so much bigger. The Supreme Court just ruled that corporations can give as much money as they want to politicians. I mean, that is absurd. And to me, for us to just sit here and talk about little incremental changes that we can make, whether it's going out.
I totally hear you. I think we should just go after huge corporations.
We're gonna go big on this.
Exxon, Chase,
Exxon paid no taxes last year. No taxes.
I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, what other corporations? We should have a list.
Yeah, we should have a list.
That's right.
Can we brainstorm a list right now?
Yeah, we can brainstorm a list, but we have to keep in mind that we have a focus here that we want to show what corporation influence does to to our political process and how that disenfranchises we the people. And so, you know, you have a lot of great ideas, and I love the energy, and I love the fact that everything that you're saying does exactly what you're where we want to be. But in order to get across everything that we have to do, we have to get back to the agenda. In this scene, we're going to demonstrate how a facilitator handles a question that's really tough, or quite frankly, he or she doesn't have the answer to.
So what I'd like to do is we're going to start off brainstorming tactics, and I want to see if there are any questions about this brainstorm before we do that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just fascinated by this U.S. Supreme Court decision, and I just would really love to know some of the actual details of the legal language and what that really meant for the corporations. Like, do you know, like, I think we really need to know actually like what the name of the decision was made, and maybe just some of the legal background. I mean, I think we should have some of that legal information.
Yeah, I mean, the more information that we can get, the better, I think. To be honest, like, I'm not a legal or a policy wonk, so I don't really have that information. And I mean, beyond that, like, the agenda right now is to brainstorm, so I'd love to follow up with you on that. Let me grab your email address before we leave this meeting, and I will check in with some folks who would know, and maybe send that out to the rest of the folks who attended the meeting as well as you.
Okay, great, thanks. So here are some other tips that will help you with facilitation.
Number 1, set the tone early for participation by getting everyone to introduce themselves to the group.
Number 2, you may also choose to review the agenda and the goals of the meeting and ask for input and additions before the discussion starts.
Number 3, if someone isn't speaking much, ask them what they think. Also gently encourage vocal folks to give others time to speak.
Number 4, a great way to manage participation is to take stack. Essentially, this is making a list of folks that want to talk. You can say it for the group, and folks can put their hands down.
Number 5, you can also encourage participation by doing a go-around. This is just asking everyone to answer the question in some sort of order, possibly the order in which people are sitting.
Number 6, it's also helpful to keep a running list of things that people bring up during the meeting that the group wants to talk about, but that don't necessarily fit into the meeting. People can stay after the meeting to talk about them, or they can be discussed in a different meeting. We call this a bike rack. So just keep in mind to remember these 3 basic principles for effective facilitation. Number 1, prepare beforehand. Number 2, use your ground rules. And number 3, balance participation with efficiency. By applying these principles, you'll be able to lead effective discussions with many groups for many years to come. Thanks a lot, and good luck.